Hello everybody, welcome back once again. I've got another Clair Obscur Expedition 33 video for you here. This time we're going to be talking about the Act 3 weapons for Maelle. I'm going to be doing this in the same way that I've done my other Act 3 weapon guides, in that we'll start from the lowest level weapon and work our way to the highest. Just keep in mind though that in Act 3 you can do anything in whatever order you want. But again, I'm going to discuss these based on the lowest weapon level and work our way up. So, that said, the lowest level weapon that you can obtain in Act 3 is the Volstrum, and that, of course, is starting at level 16. This is found in Lumiere from the Gestural Merchant Kribappa. I do like the agility scaling on this, but of course I don't really like the vitality scaling there. But the level 4 ability is +1 AP on stance switch. That's great, right? Getting extra AP by switching your stance. Of course, I generally think that you should be swapping Maelle's stance probably every turn. Of course, there's always times where if you're already in Virtuous, you really honestly want to stay in Virtuous, but this can certainly help you out, right? Get you a little bit of extra AP for fueling those abilities. The next ability is if stanceless base attack switches to defensive. Now, again, I don't find that to be that useful because I think that Maelle, or in my opinion, Maelle wants to constantly be swapping stances, and really you don't want to ever be stanceless in this game. Of course, there are some times where there's no avoiding it, because of AP or because you've used a specific skill or something, but I don't find this one to be that useful. Recover 5% health on stance switch. I guess that's okay too. If you struggle to parry in this game or dodge, maybe that's useful, but for me, as someone who tries to just parry everything, I don't get any use out of that. But that said, if you do want to use that, obviously, maybe it's not obvious, but what you really want to do is equip a lot of Pictos that really increase her health, right? So that 5% health is going to be doing a lot more for you the more health you've got. So that would be my recommendation if you want to use that one. Next up is the Lithum. Lithum is my favorite weapon for Maelle in the game. Probably, honestly, I love the Jarum as well. Medallum, I think it's the Medallum. Yeah, Medallum is pretty good too, very, very early on, but just because of the way that I like to play, I absolutely love the Jarum and the Lithum, but Jarum probably I use for like 75% of the game, and then, the Lithum is the last whatever, 10% or something, but anyways, located in the Reacher from the final battle with Alicia. I love the scaling on this, of course, agility and luck. On top of that, it's got the Void element, which is the best element in the game, certainly better than physical and any other, because, of course, nothing absorbs it. So, this thing's going to just do solid damage for you. It says, in Virtuous Stance, hitting a marked enemy doesn't remove mark. That's cool, but honestly, especially during the last playthrough that I did a lot of solo battling with Maelle, and so that wasn't that useful to me, but it certainly could be if you've got other characters that are, putting marks on things. So, of course, then Maelle getting the extra 25% damage on that marked enemy, and then, of course, her not removing it is pretty huge. That is actually a very, very good ability if you're fighting with, all three of your teammates. So, next up is switch to Virtuous Stance on counterattack. Now, that's my favorite ability. Probably, honestly, my favorite ability for all of the weapons in the entire game. Just because it keeps Maelle so efficient, right? You can use things like Gustav's Homage or Sword Ballet, which will, of course, make her leave Virtuous Stance. But then, of course, if you're able to counter the enemy's abilities, boom, you're right back into Virtuous so that she can unleash another fully powered up ability on the following turn. So, again, absolutely love this weapon and love that level 10 ability. The final one there I'm not as wild about, but gain shell when switching out of Virtuous Stance. So that actually is going to happen quite a bit. Again, for the same reasons that I was saying earlier. If you're using like Gustav's Homage, and sword ballet with her. Of course, she's going to leave virtuous stance, and she'll get the shell on that. Now, there also are very good Pictos related to gaining shell, so I can't remember if there's a shell on, or a powerful on shell, but that'd be my guess, right? Like, every time you give yourself shell, you'll give yourself powerful as well. So obviously that's going to synergize really, really well with this. So like the shell status itself, you know, as someone who tries to go through the game, you know, parrying basically everything, shell doesn't do me any good. But of course there are, let me just see there. I'm pretty sure there's, it would be powerful on shell. Let's do this alphabetically. Let's just see here. Let's get down to the P's. Yeah, there it is. Powerful on shell. Apply powerful on applying shell. So again, that actually is a great weapon ability, but more because of that Pictos, right? Every time that she switches out of virtuous, she can reapply powerful on herself, which of course is just going to really help her crank out even more damage. So very, very good weapon. Again, my favorite one for Maelle in the entire game. Let's talk about the face sum next. Oops, there it is. So face sum is located on the Isle of the Eyes from the chromatic Bachelier. I'm probably saying that completely wrong, but that is the enemy that it's coming from. I like the luck scaling here. Don't like the vitality scaling. Inoffensive stance, double the amount of burn applied. That's cool. I don't spend that much time, to be honest, though, in offensive stance. But with this weapon, of course, not a bad thing, because you're not going to be able to do, you know, you're not getting back to virtuous stance on counterattack for free with like the Jarum and the Lithum, right? So, you know, if you're going to be using this weapon, yeah, you are going to be swapping between those stances quite a bit. So that's just fine, right? So get into offensive, apply some burns, and of course that's actually going to double the amounts, which is great. And then of course there's the Pictos that is going to, you know, get you even more. So 50% increased burn damage, that's a no-brainer, right? As a character that's able to apply burns fairly easily, either using her skills or I guess even technically there, you could do that with you know, free aim shots and stuff too. But that can be a great way to increase your damage here. And then base attack propagates burn. I don't like that one that much, just because I don't think Maelle should really be using base attacks, right? You know, the goal for her, in my opinion, is to, or at least maybe I should just say the way that I like to play, is to stay in either stay in virtuous stance or be getting back to virtuous stance. And unfortunately, base attack is not going to do that for you. So I don't find that final weapon ability that useful. Next up is the Sea Shellum. So this is located in the Flying Manor from the Jester Merchant Fusoka. I like the agility scaling, of course. Don't like the defense scaling. +1 shield on switching to offensive stance. That's cool. I do like shields in this game, though, again, as someone who tries to parry everything anyway, that one isn't going to help me that much. But I do think that this can be a good weapon, right, and keep her just a little bit safe if you either struggle or... I mean, who knows, you know, every once in a while the random hit gets through, and, you know, always a good thing to have a shield waiting for you to absorb that. So next up is if stanceless, base attack switches to offensive. Similar to my criticism from some of the other weapons, I don't think Maelle should really be using base attacks, and so I don't think that the level 10 weapon ability is that great. So, yeah, don't really love that. And then 50% crit chance while in offensive stance. And again, kind of similar to some of the other characters, or some of the other commentary I've done on these weapons, is that especially in Act 3, it's just so easy to get to 100% crit rate anyway, that I don't find that ability useful really at all. So, you know, maybe if you've built other stats, right, like if you're not doing luck, right, that can be a good way to get yourself a pretty big jump there in crit chance, but also that's only while you're in offensive stance, right? So what about the other two stances, or I guess even stanceless, right? Then you're losing your crit chance. So I don't like that ability really at all. So also don't really like this weapon because of that. I just think that essentially two of those weapon abilities are basically completely worthless to me. So don't like that one. Anyways, next up, and I should say lastly, is the Yavarum. So this is Maelle's final weapon for Act 3, and this is located within Renoir's drafts from the Gestural Merchant Grauer. So it says, applying shell also applies 1 shield. Now, of course, Maelle does have a way to apply shell to everybody, which, makes this weapon, I would say, more oriented towards if you're using Maelle for a support role, which I don't recommend, but if you want to do that, then great. And I would say, again, as maybe if you have struggles with parrying and dodging, then maybe that is a great way to set up, right? So of course, shell is going to reduce any damage that you take, and then on top of that, though, getting the shield, that's huge, right? So I do think that the Yavarum can actually be very, very good, especially again for people that may struggle to dodge or parry. And then it says, on applying shields, also give 1 AP. That's great, right? So again, very much oriented towards Maelle in a support role. And then on switching to Virtuous Stance, double all shields on allies. That can be crazy good. Especially once you really start to stack them up. I mean, if you've got 5 shields on somebody, boom, that's going to cap you out at 9, right? And of course, switching between the different stances then, and honestly, you can probably do that every other turn, right? So hit Virtuous, use some sort of ability that's going to put you into either defensive or offensive, and then, get right back to Virtuous Stance the following turn. So essentially every other turn you can be doubling shield. So again, I think that this weapon actually is very, very cool for a more support-oriented Maelle. So that's going to be it, though, for this one. Again, I'm giving the Lithum the number 1 spot. I just love the switching to Virtuous on counterattack. I think that that's really, really huge. But I will give I'll give the Yavarum my number 2. Again, and that'd be more for a support role. But very, very cool abilities here, and again, that level 20 ability could be really, really good for anybody who may struggle to parry and dodge. So anyways, that is going to be it for this one. As always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.